Hello, this is Jape here from Global Gaming 101, replying to Review Tech USA's viewpoint on console gaming and how its demise will be on the hands of mobile gaming and, mobile platforms. I actually strongly disagree on this viewpoint, and that's a great thing about the United States of America, is that we can disagree with each other peacefully, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now, console gaming, I do believe, will last for generations beyond this one. And I do believe console gaming will not be replaced by mobile gaming. I strongly do not believe in that. I do not see that. And this is why. When you have an Xbox 360, it's a unified platform. Okay? And I'm using the 360 as an example because it's a good one. Okay? Now, if you have, let's say, you're a developer and you want to make a game. You can make it, cool. But you cannot require hard drive caching on your games. Why, you may ask? Because not all 360s came with hard drives when they sold them. And that's partially Microsoft's fault. And which kind of sucks because hard drive caching is really beneficial. But you can't require it. Like Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary was optimized for hard drive use. And it actually said that in the, little squares where it says, player 1, 2, how much memory it'll use to save a game. And that is, exactly what it is. It is an optional thing. And if you do not install Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary to your Xbox hard drive or external medium, it'll hard drive cache as long as you have the hard drive. And it'll cache certain textures onto your hard drive temporarily, and it'll run those textures off the hard drive, which allows for faster access to those textures and prevent pop-in textures, which is kind of annoying, and it is very disgusting. And now it cracked my knuckle if you heard that. And anyways, you can't require that though. So if you were to put Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary in a 360 without a hard drive, with just a memory card or a flash drive, and it didn't have it installed, it would run it without texture streaming. Or, not without texture streaming, but without the hard drive caching. And it goes for PlayStation 3. All the systems have hard drives, so developers are allowed to have mandatory partial game installs. If not all PS3s had hard drives, they probably would not allow that. Sony probably wouldn't allow that, and you would not see, forced game installs, and that would probably be fatal for the PlayStation 3, because it really does rely on those installs. But, it's a unified platform. Across the board, developers are required to meet a certain standard. And the great thing about consoles is that the architecture is the same when it comes to one console. So you have one 360, but there's many 360s. But the hardware is the exact same inside when developing for it. And because of that, it is much, better to port games over or to make games for a system. And if you have it on a phone, for instance, you have tons of Android phones. You have multiple iPhones, and you have multiple Windows phones. And then you got the BlackBerry, but, let's not talk about the BlackBerry. And it's just like, it's like being a PC, You got all these different hardware combinations that you have to worry about, and, occasionally you got problems, compatibility problems. And that is exactly what you got to worry about when developing for mobile games. Especially that, your phone cannot replace a console because, well, you're stuck with it for 2 years, and what are you going to do? Buy another phone after 2 years because your hardware is incapable? And your phone can only hold 16 gigs as of right now. Flash technology is extremely expensive. My phone is an iPhone 4. It only holds 8 gigs. Less than that. And the problem about that is it's small, and the technology, the cost to get console quality hardware would be just destroy the industry. You cannot do it, and in 10 years, sure, you will. It's playing catch up, And I honestly do not think it will ever catch up to modern technology, stay with modern technology, because it's smaller. And if it does, it's going to cost a lot more. I mean, you got a console, and at the time it's released, it's, caught up with PC hardware. Sometimes it's ahead of it a little bit, in 360's case, when it was released. And, I mean, it plays, every, console generation has to catch up for the time it was missing in action. It wasn't being upgraded. And that's the problem. And I really think, honestly, mobile phones, and with its limitation of technology and expense, you can't run a hard drive or a CD or DVD or Blu-ray disc off a mobile phone. And to develop a game on a disc is much cheaper than developing a game on a flash drive. So, which is flash technology. And to develop a really small, chip that has 16, 32 gigs, and eventually, require 64 to 128 gigs, it's not gonna work. Okay? If you agree with me, great. I would like to hear your viewpoints on this. If you disagree with me, I'd like to hear your arguments towards mobile gaming and why it could potentially replace console gaming. This is Jacob here, with my viewpoint, and I strongly stick by it. And yeah, so this is Jacob here from Global Gaming 101, signing out.